Mindset, a daily dose of practical wit and wisdom with a professional educator and trainer, Amazon best-selling author, United States Marine, television and radio host, Paul G. Markle. Each episode will focus on positive and productive ways to strengthen your mindset and help you improve your relationships, career goals, and overall well-being. Please welcome your host, Paul G. Markle.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right back into it. Let's get back into the Morning Mindset podcast. I'm going to remind you that on September 4th, 2018, we will begin a 30-episode book study. And the book we're going to be studying is the Morning Mindset book, Morning Mindset, a 30-day plan for a more positive and productive life. You may have heard me mention this book one time before. Now, I understand that September 4th, at least according to my calendar, September 4th is a Tuesday. Well, September 3rd of 2018 is Labor Day. It is a national holiday, and I work hard enough that I'm going to go ahead and take the holiday off. So there you go. But on the 4th, we will begin a 30-episode program, individual book study, one chapter per day of the Morning Mindset book. And I would love for you guys to join me to have your very own book and a pen and a pencil or a highlighter, take some notes, and we'll get started. And if you'd like to, if you haven't secured a copy of the book yet, shame on you, but it's pretty easy. You can go to Amazon/Kindle and you can download the Kindle version and put it onto your phone, and it'll be there very conveniently for you. Or if you would like a paperback copy, that is cool too. Go to Amazon.com. It's prime shipping. Order it. It'll be at your door within 2 days or so, and you'll be ready to go. If you would like an autographed copy, or if you'd like a Morning Mindset coffee mug or motivational poster or what have you, you can go to morningmindsetpodcast.com. Follow the links, and you will be all set to go. All right, let's talk about the main topic of the day, the storyteller or the story. Now, recently, I was sitting down having dinner with a friend, and we got on the topic of comics, and we got on the topic of movies, and the topic of Mel Brooks came up. Mel Brooks, I hope that you know who Mel Brooks is, and you're familiar with Mel Brooks' work, his movies Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein, and The Producers, and on and on. They're great, great works. And, of course, later on, things like Spaceballs and what have you. Mel Brooks is a funny guy. He's a talented guy, and he's been around for quite a while now. And I mentioned to my friend that I kind of felt bad for Mel Brooks because he's, in his peer group, he's one of the last remaining people. He's one of the last remaining guys in his individual peer group because he's north of 90 now, and he lost his wife, Anne Bancroft, many years ago, and his lifelong friend Gene Wilder recently passed. And I said he's like the last one left, man. He's like the last of the Mohicans in his peer group and of his generation. I kind of feel bad for him. And my friend said, well, you don't have to necessarily feel bad for him because now Mel Brooks, he's the guy that's left to tell the story. He's the storyteller. And I thought about it. I said, yeah, that has fallen on him to be the storyteller. And I thought about my own life. I'm not so old now that I am the last of my generation, not even close. But I am at that point where I'm old enough to have lost many peers and friends. Older peers have gone away. And, in a few cases, people that were younger than me departed this earth far too early, far too soon, and left behind their story. And so where I am in my life currently is I am in the position as the storyteller. It's my job to continue to relate the tale, to tell the funny stories, to tell the sad stories, to tell the inspirational stories and the educational stories. And, it's my job currently to be the storyteller. But I won't always be the storyteller. Someday, like my friends and peers and people who I respect and admire who have gone before me, Someday I will be the story, and someday you will be the story as well. Now, for now, I can take my time and I can dedicate myself and I can tell those stories. I can make sure that that information is passed on to future generations, to interested parties. And I take that very seriously and I try and do it all the time. But I won't always be the storyteller, and I understand that. Someday I will be simply the story. Someday you will be the story. And my challenge to you as you consider this is, what kind of story will you be? Will you be a motivating story? Will you be an inspirational story? Will you be a funny story? Will you be a story that makes people smile? When people think about your tale, when they think about your story, will they smile? Will it make them feel happy? I have a good friend who passed a couple of years ago. It was 10 years, I think it might have been 11 years, my junior. He left way too soon. He shouldn't have gone. And it made me very, very sad when he left. But time has passed, and after I get over that, that tinge of sadness when I think about him, he makes me smile. When I tell his story, when his story is told, it makes me laugh, it makes me smile, it makes me feel good. And I enjoy sharing his story with others. I enjoy relating it with my, current friends and those of us who knew him. We can share that story, and even though we're sad that he's gone, we're happy that we have that story to tell. Now, there are others, for instance, older peers who, I was quite their junior by, many years, decades even. One of my original mentors in the industry, in the field, departed a couple of years ago. And he was funny. There were some very, very funny tales, but he also was an inspiration. He was also very wise and intelligent. And when I tell his story is not only funny, but his story is inspirational and it's motivational as well. So as you progress throughout your life, maybe you are currently the storyteller. Maybe that's your job. I don't know. Eventually, though, you will be the story. But the good news is, like being the storyteller, you can decide whether or not to be the storyteller and whether or not to tell the story of others. But you also have the opportunity and the ability right now to craft your story. You can determine what your story is going to be based upon your actions, based upon what you do when you interact and how with other people, how they feel about your interaction with them, what you put out there, your actions and your words and your deeds. Though all of those things are out there making up your story. So as you progress, as you are currently the storyteller, what you can do is take a little bit of time every once in a while to think about, what will your story be? And you have 100%. I know you don't have 100% power over the storyteller. You cannot determine how your story is told, but you can determine what your story is. And remember, there will be more than one storyteller when you become the story. There will be many. And hopefully they will have a tale of motivation, of inspiration, of good humor, and of joy. And that your story will bring a smile to other people, and it will bring inspiration and motivation to them when they hear it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have to say. I'm your host, Paul Markle, and I will talk to you again real soon.
Thank you for spending time with us today. To get show notes, submit a topic request, and for more from your host, Paul G. Markle, visit morningmindsetpodcast.com. That's morningmindsetpodcast.com. Please leave a review for this podcast on your favorite podcast player. We appreciate your time and effort, and we look forward to reading your honest feedback.